Hello again. This is the third part of our video on getting Catholics to vote right. I want to share some information that was given to me by this survey, which I shared with you in our last few videos from Catholic Vote on stopping the Trump takedown. You notice, remember, we had that group of liberals that we needed to fear and who are already in hell. Well, something else came to my attention because on the cover of the survey, they talk about liberals again. And having been a liberal at one point and knowing how much damage I caused our government, I started to feel really guilty. And I started to shake. Let me read what it says. The 2020 election project, the campaign to stop the Trump takedown, the dishonest media Democrats, the corrupt Washington political cartel, and the anti-God, anti-American left will stop at nothing to destroy President Trump and destroy America. I have to admit that when I was a liberal Democrat, sorry Lord, I did not know I was supporting a corrupt political cartel. I just wasn't paying attention. Since I was going to church, Mass on Sunday, praying the rosary very often, I didn't realize I was anti-God. I can't even imagine the anger God must have felt. I did not know that caring about immigrants or kids and their mothers and being together or separated, I didn't know that was anti-American. How stupid was I? I was so focused on the born, I did not understand that the dignity of the unborn was the only thing that was important. And it didn't matter if we did anything for the kids and their moms after they were born. You probably knew this again. So I told you the last time I was going to review another question that was asked in the survey. And this one was about immigrants. And the question was about our president's performance on trying to secure our borders and enforce immigration laws. I have to make another confession. When I was a liberal, I thought we should enforce our immigration laws, but also treat the immigrants with respect and not separate them from their families. Maybe we should send them back, but we should wait. We should try to help them as they were escaping hardship and death. I originally thought that our treatment of immigrants was unchristian. But based on what our Pope said, it was certainly not Catholic. But once I discovered the Gospel of Saint Avarice, I realized our leaders were doing God's work. But right here in the Gospel of Saint Avarice, we see the rich and the powerful getting their direction. And Christ himself talks about why we need to keep immigrants out, even if they're facing hardship or death. While he didn't mention the idea of separating children from their families, it all makes sense. Let me read a passage. Jesus had drawn a large crowd of members who shouted to him, "Lord, there are many who are being persecuted and displaced in different lands, and many are trying to cross the border into our country. Do we have to let them in and take care of them, as you told us to do? We have enough trouble trying to take care of our own." Jesus smiled. This has become a great problem. It is going to be a problem for centuries to come. After allowing many immigrants to enter our country, it is time to shut the door to our great land. I know many of these people are good and faithful servants, and I emphasize the word servants, but some are not nice people and are coming here to do us harm. It is time we built a tremendous wall around our country. Mark interrupted. In a way, Lord, weren't you and your family refugees? I guess you can say we were. We were trying to escape persecution. My family was trying to protect me. But that was then, and this is now. I am here in my land, and there comes a time when you have to close the gates. Obviously, our Pope didn't read this because he takes a much different approach. But this survey brought me back to my senses. Here is something that shows not only great insight, but great foresight. And let me quote the brochure. They, the Democrats, see these immigrants as future Democratic voters. Well, that's a wake-up call. Catholic Vote warns us of the desire of the Democrats, and I quote again, to create millions of new voters for their radical, socialist, anti-God agenda. Now, how thoughtful is that? I am dense, and I bet you guys figured it out already. Doesn't it make you think, though, that maybe you should check on whether Our Lady of Guadalupe put in radical ideas into these people's minds? I'm not sure she mentioned anything about liberals, but since most of these immigrants are Christians, and many of those Catholics, just has to make you wonder. And I get angry, too, when I think of all the president's advisors who've had to resign or been convicted of crimes or sent to prisons just for trying to do what needed to be done to turn this country back to its former greatness. Luckily, our president, through the grace of God, had the power to pardon them. Now, I know I shouldn't get so emotional, and I do apologize. But I've mentioned in my other videos, because of the importance of this period of time in our history, because of the election, I like to say prayers at the end of these videos. And I like to say prayers inspired by Saint Avarice and sent in to us by viewers and readers. And today I'm going to read a prayer that was sent in by George. And George lives in Central California. He shares with us that he's a volunteer ballot box watcher at his church, a ballot box that was set up by their pastor. Good for you. Today's prayer by George is a prayer for unwanted immigrants. Dear Lord, please help us to keep unwanted immigrants from penetrating our borders. I know that my great-grandparents came here on a boat from Europe, but America needed workers then, and almost all were white. At that time, the country did not have to give anyone anything. These people nowadays want an education and health care. Yes, they work hard and do the jobs that no one here wants to do, and they do it for a low wage. Maybe you could help us know who the best ones are and help us know whom to turn away. We do need someone to pick our crops and clean our homes, but it's time to stop the others from coming in. Amen. What a great prayer, George. Thank you. And to everybody, I would say until the next time, pray often. And always let others know that no matter how little you're doing for them, your thoughts and prayers are with them. Until next time, God bless.